there, it is my pleasure to be here again with you on our program, The Young Inventors. I just hope your interest is also growing in the program as we bring you fresh and exciting episodes each week. My name is Treasure Abassi, your host. Today on the program, we will feature students' projects in the core engineering disciplines of electrical electronics and the civil engineering technology. But before we go into these hardcore areas of engineering, let's take some tips from architect Ajibade Adeyemi.
Architecture, as it is all about bringing order out of chaos. Perhaps you can say God is the first architect. For anybody to study architecture, incidentally, it is a profession that ensures us, like I've said, creativity. So if you are someone who loves to be adventurous, who loves to be daring and do new things, then architecture is for you. It's only probably recently that I can see maybe medical doctors and the like being, at least personally as a child, I decided to have studied architecture because I wanted to do something new that I will be able to create. So if you are very good with your hands, but incidentally again, architecture is even beyond using your hands. Like I said, it's both an art and a science. But because it's not just about you just drawing nature. When there is a problem, you design the problem. But then there is now the issue of having to build what you design. And that is where the issue of precision, that's what makes it a science too. So for a student at whatever level, you must be very good in freehand drawing, technical drawing, in Nigeria. Because abroad you could have a BA in architecture. But in Nigeria, it's more science oriented. So you need to, like I've said, be a good student of mathematics, English, physics, chemistry, geography, technical drawing, like I've said, and freehand drawing. But again, just as said, in Yoruba actually, definition of an architect, the way I have had it is an akole, You sit down, you must have evolved the idea entirely from the inside of you. And that is where and why an architect, a bona fide and well-trained architect, differs from a draftsman. In fact, in recent times, with AutoCAD, with the introduction of AutoCAD, you now even have AutoCAD technicians or AutoCAD draftsmen. And anybody can be an AutoCAD draftsman. But the architect, by virtue of his training, has to be a master of many things simultaneously. As an architect, you could be trained in the Polytechnic. But to become a bona fide architect, mere 5 years in the university does not qualify you. That is, with your first degree, you are not an architect. You must have your first and second degree. And thereafter, you still do the professional exams. With your master's in a well-accredited school, you do one stage of the exam. Where there's probably a problem with the school, you could do 2 stages. But if you finish with an HND, you probably would need to do 3 stages of the Nigerian Institute of Architects exam. Or maybe over the span of even probably 6 years or thereabout. So it is not a very easy thing, but it is very interesting. I dare say that not just is architecture interesting, it is creative, like I've said earlier on. And one other very interesting thing again is that you don't need to be in the employment of anybody necessarily. And you can be on your own. You design houses for people. You can work corporately in offices. As an architect, you can even work in the automobile industry. You can be in employment in anywhere. In the building industry, in the building material manufacture industry, there is really the sky is not the limit for an architect.
That certainly is an elite profession, and the only way to be in it is to develop the necessary seriousness and passion for it. Okay, let's move on with the engineering technology. One of the 6 core engineering departments of the School of Engineering of the Lagos State Polytechnic is the Electrical Electronic Engineering Technology Department. It is headed by Engineer Ajasha Abiodun.
Here we train students to become middle management staff in companies, in engineering, to develop them to be able to handle equipment, to supervise industries, all things like that. And among the projects that we have done, we have been able to, like for instance, we have about 5 departments under electrical electronics. We have control, we have power and machine, we have electronics and telecommunications, we have instrumentations. All these are well equipped. And we try to fashion our projects at the end of each session for our graduating students. We have both ND, the National Diploma, and the HND. At the National Diploma level, we give them a project they will construct. But at the HND level, we give the students to come up with a particular project and design it from the scratch and construct it and test and commission it. Most of the things we do here are prototype, but where the prototyping will not be necessary, we go into actual production. Like some of the projects we do, I can lay examples on some. We have very exhaustive record of projects. For instance, the generator that you're looking at here, these 2 generators were assembled by our students, but they have to put the parameters that make them to function at the rating that they are designed. So it's like designing, but the local materials, all the parts are sourced locally, and they have been able to couple them together. We're actually using some of them to run the lab when there is no electricity. That one is another one that is electronics based, and we call it a project on animation, and that is the logo of Lagos State Polytechnic. This will provide illumination of our logo even when there is no darkness, when there is no electricity, because it uses battery and it is incorporated. It can use AC, that is alternating current, as well as DC. So we use majorly, as you can see, light emitting diodes there. So the cost is not too exorbitant. This project was designed from scratch by our students. Like the one that we have left, the logo, it is a prototype for industrial-based production lines, which can be applied anywhere. And it uses the modern programmable logic control by the use of computer and some other components. These are automatic changeover panels designed from scratch by our HND students. Can you help me open it? They put the parameters together. They arrive at the right appropriate